Make some noise!
Welcome to Changing the Volume with PH and Caprice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Changing the Volume with your girl, Caprice.
And your boy, PH.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for always tuning in with us.
Thank you.
We never take you for granted.
No, we don't.
Okay? So come on, guys. Keep it up. Tell a friend and tune in to your girl, Caprice and PH. Come on, tune in and listen to us. Before we get started, we want to take this time to encourage someone today.
I know you out there probably been wondering, how things are going to add up. And let me tell you how things are going to add up. It's going to add up 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, even 1 step at a time. Don't go so far ahead till you mix yourself up. Take time to really think about that which you focused on. And don't be afraid to fail, because you got to get some type of knowledge from somewhere. And whatever knowledge you do accumulate, take the time to get the understanding of it, because that is what's going to bring wisdom. Know that. Practice before you get in the game or on the stage or whatever that is you're doing. You can't become great at something until you have a lot of repetition. So that's my thought for you. Keep it moving.
All right now. Thank you, PH. That was good. Now, guys, we have been talking about the silent war between men and women. On today's episode, we will be talking to a couple who were friends, and now they are husband and wife. Wow. You have some people out there that are in friendships and they like each other, but they are fearful that if they cross over that line and it doesn't work romantically, that they will also lose their friendship.
That's good.
So this is what happens as well. And sometimes you can be friends with somebody and you don't even see them in that light. You don't even see them that way. But they can be your potential spouse, or they are your husband or your wife. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. I have never dated anyone that was a friend, but I know numerous of people who are married today to someone they grew up with, that they were their best friend, they were homies, and they didn't even look at each other like that. But today they are married, and you cannot despise your small beginnings. Like, my husband always says, he loves to say that a lot. If you think about it, I met my husband on Facebook. Now, if I was on Facebook saying, I'm not going to be thinking this could be my husband, although we weren't looking for each other, because I definitely wasn't looking for someone and I'm just coming out of a divorce, or I'm coming out of a marriage. I'm about to be divorced. So you don't know how God is going to bring you your spouse. You cannot look at reality TV and look at all of these romantic movies and assume that this is how it's going to happen for me. The way God has your life lined up, the way he may have your spouse positioned may not be the way you expect it. They may not come in a package that you think it should come, all pretty and decorated and all those different things. It may not even come that way. It may already be sitting there with holes in it. It may look like it. And when you get a package from UPS or FedEx and it looked like that package then went through everything and then some, it then went through life, okay? It didn't went through life.
Right about that.
And so you might get a package like that look like it's been through life.
Or roughed up.
But that could be your spouse. And that could be the person you look at every day, the person you walk past. It could be somebody that you are friends with on social media. It could be somebody in another state. Your spouse don't always have to be from where you live, right, Prophet?
You got that right. So you got to expand those 49 states, in whatever states you live in, and I like how you said that, because a lot of times when you get connected with somebody and you talking to them every day, you just don't know where the spark is going to come. One day they're not attractive to you. Next day you're like, I don't know. But then there's something will make you gravitate to them. So don't put a limit on God and don't judge your package.
Exactly. Because my grandmother always says, it doesn't matter how the package looks, it's what's inside that matters the most. Okay? And don't just look within the states. Look all around the world. If you in Canada, wherever you are, if you overseas and you're listening right now, and you are that man or that woman and you're like, I'm single, I'm tired, I just want somebody, but I have a friend that I'm sort of attracted to, but I don't want to cross that line. Listen, you just never know.
Sometimes you have to cross that line.
You just never know. If you're best friends in real life, then they'll be your best friend in your marriage. Okay? So guys, we're going to be talking with a couple in just a few moments. But we're going to take this break. And when we come back, we're going to get into it. You're listening to Changing the Volume with your girl Caprice.
And your boy PH.
Keep it locked.
You're listening to Changing the Volume. We'll be right back, so don't touch that dial. Turn it up.
Hey, volume changers and tone setters. This is your girl Caprice. This is just a friendly reminder to remind you to go to our website, changingthevolume.org, and purchase you some merch, okay? And please go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Changing the Volume. Welcome back to Changing the Volume with your girl Caprice.
And your boy PH.
What's up, guys? Thank you again for always tuning in with us. We have a very special guest for you.
We do?
We have Vonzail and Elizabeth. Now, let me tell you this, guys. We've been talking about the silent war between men and women.
Is it really a war?
It actually is a silent war going on because you have men out here and women out here, and they're fighting for masculinity. And what we mean by that is they're fighting for the roles to say, I'm the dominant one. I'm the one that's in charge. And a lot of women nowadays, they're out here working, they're bosses, they got it going on. And a lot of men out here, they're feeling like, if that's how you feel, then fine. And then there are women out here also who feel like there's no men out here. And so with this situation, with Elizabeth and Vonzail, they have a very special story of how they met.
I want to hear this.
Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, I need you guys to focus in on this conversation today because there is a such thing as becoming more than just friends.
This is going to be good.
How you guys doing?
Oh my God. First of all, congratulations on the radio show. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
For you and PH. Like, what? Y'all are doing it. We're super excited, but we're doing good. God has been so faithful.
Yes, super, super excited. It's like full circle. I remember first meeting you two back during the pandemic.
Yeah.
When we first spoke. And so just to see that we're 5 years later, having a conversation about marriage. You were just newly engaged then. And so now we're talking about marriage. Let's get into it.
Y'all really been married.
They are married. Who wanted to go first? How did this happen? Because you guys were friends. Just give us a snippet. Who would like to go first? Just to explain quickly how it happened.
Lizzie was being fast.
She said she was being fast.
No. I was being cute.
Oh, she was being cute.
I was looking good. No, but both me and my husband, we have a background in working in the industry, the music industry. I am a professional singer, and he comes from working in production, and so he knows the behind the scenes and of how a lot of this stuff goes down in Hollywood, and but we met at an award show. And it was nothing super deep or anything. I think we both noticed each other in passing. He had locks at the time, really nice. He's just a very distinguished looking man when I first saw him.
The Lord is good.
The Lord.
Let's just say he wasn't ugly.
Hallelujah. No, he had locks and he was working in production, but what I noticed about him the first time I saw him was the bright yellow blazer that he was wearing. And funny enough is I'm known for wearing afros. And at the time when I met him, I had a blonde, I don't know, I was going through something. I had a blonde afro at the time. And so when I saw him, I just smiled at him and I said hello. And I complimented him on his hair and his outfit. And that was that. It wasn't until we bumped into each other in his hometown. He's from Columbus, Ohio. I was singing background for Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. Shout out to Michelle Williams. And he was a huge fan of Destiny's Child. So when he heard that Michelle was coming to his hometown, he's from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, I wanted to go as a fan. So just to get a quick backstory to what she said, we were working at the BET Awards actually, and
Yes.
I was red carpet coordinator. So with the red carpet coordinator, I was in charge with meeting different celebrities at the loading dock to help them get their credentials, to get on the red carpet, prep them for questions. And so that particular year, I was assigned to Michelle Williams-Kent. And I had wore, which is crazy, I wore a yellow blazer. I'm supposed to be in all black, but I'm like, I must be on red carpet. I want to, stand out a little bit.
You did.
So working in Checkpoint, working red carpet, we deal with a lot of entourage, a lot of egos, a lot of divas, a lot of attitudes. It's not so much the clients, it's more so their entourage. And so dealing with a lot of attitudes and dealing with a lot of personalities, Lizzie stuck out. When I'm working, I'm tunnel vision. And so, but I do remember a young lady who came and with the team of people, and she smiled. She was actually nice. I remember that.
It wasn't blonde hair got you.
Yeah. It wasn't until later on, we're still trying to put the pieces together, if it was a year later or some weeks later or a month later. But Michelle was coming to my hometown, and I'm like, when I'm working, I'm professional, I'm tunnel vision. And I'm like, Michelle's not going to remember me from the BET Awards. She's dealt with so many people. I want to go and actually be a fan, because it's, when you work in production, it's kind of hard. You don't really go to concerts for leisure because it's work to you. So I'm like, you know what? I love Destiny's Child. I admired Michelle. I want to go see her, perform as a solo act. And so when I went, Michelle did recognize me. And that got me an invitation to the backstage. And that's kind of, how I ran to Lizzie once again. But when she was performing, I was like, she looks familiar, but I couldn't really put my hand where I remember her from.
So when did the sparks happen? How did you guys, once you guys seen each other, behind the stage, backstage with, Michelle Williams, at what point did you guys continue communicating?
So I'm glad that you asked this question, because this is where things start turning and where our friendship began. He found me on Facebook about a week after the Michelle concert. And he friend requested me, and then he went into DMs and he asked me if, I guess he probably recognized my face, but he didn't remember where he saw my face. So he went into DM and said, "Hi, have you worked for BET?" And I responded and said, "Yes, I remember you." I said, "I performed at the BET Awards with Yolanda Adams, but we also saw each other
at the Michelle
Williams concert." So I remembered him immediately.
Yeah, I remember, because she kept coming up on my, Facebook had this algorithm thing, whereas if you check in at a place that somebody else checked in, you'll become like a person you may know.
Yeah.
So this profile, Elizabeth Comba, kept coming up as a person you may know. And I'm like, this girl looks familiar.
God was just setting it up.
So I am God's spirit. And when
he was.
She's like, Vonzail, I remember you. She was like, we met at the BET Awards, and she's like, here recently, a couple weeks ago, I met you backstage with Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of like, oh, okay, you was the girl who was singing with Michelle. So we just honestly became like Facebook friends. And so every year, I would go out to LA to work the BET Awards.
And that was, by the way, 2014 when we met each other.
Wow.
So we stayed connected through social media. And 2016 was a very memorable year because I lived in Los Angeles at the time, and he was living in New York. Every year for the BET Awards, he would fly to, you'll fly into LA like weeks or months before the BET Awards would, happen. 2016, we were very intentional about, hey, you're in town.
Grab a bite to eat.
Let's go grab something to eat. I invited him to church.
Mm-hmm.
And I invited him to some industry events in Los Angeles. I was, just starting to go out more. So I wanted to be intentional about getting to know him and, just be friends.
Yeah.
We went to Big Wings in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I don't share this a lot, but that was the first time I really, really started to find feelings for him. I found an attraction to him then, but I just never acted on it.
It was the yellow jacket.
So at what point did you guys realize, okay, this could be something more? This is more than just a friendship.
So it's crazy because I'll be honest with you. I know Lizzie said, she had an attraction. And with me, I was very gung-ho on not dating anyone that was attached to ministry or industry.
Oh.
So
I asked you, why is that? What reason is that?
Working in the entertainment industry, I used to work for a television show called 106 and Park. And I had some really, really great mentors. And coming in as an intern that got promoted, just seeing what happens when you mix your work with your personal and your love life. And I just had great mentors who just said, Vonzail, steer away from dating your coworkers and steer away from dating with people in this industry. And so I think because I was so focused, just a, quick, backdrop of, why I was so focused. When I was 7 years old, there was a TV show, Video Soul with Donnie Simpson, on Black Entertainment Television Network, before it was, acronym BET. And so at 7 years old, I always told myself I wanted to work for Black Entertainment TV. Then when I turned 19, I wanted to work for 106 and Park. And so to be in my late 20s, working for BET, working for 106 and Park, your boy was just super focused on his career. Seeing, other, people, my peers dating, how that could, get really messy. I was just, focused young man. And so 2016, when she invited me to church, I was in a place where I was just like, my faith was being questioned. I questioned my relationship with God. I questioned even if I was a believer, just going through some personal things in life. And so the moment that I knew that what God was orchestrating something is when she invited me to church. I remember sitting there and getting ready to text her like, hey, thank you for the invite. I was getting ready to leave because, worship was going on. And I just really felt God pulling at my heart. Now, mind you, I was in a season where I was questioning God. I didn't want to feel that any longer. Asking God, I'm like, God, why am I here? I said, I'm not doing this church thing. I'm not doing this. And so I didn't want to be the guy that, walk out on the church invite, but then still pop up later on at the industry events. So I honestly was just going to just leave and, I'm a runner. I've been known for disappearing, when things made me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, so you're the real ghost.
Yeah. I something I'm not proud of, but I have done it in the past. But I'll never forget the experience when God really began to show me what purpose was and what he was orchestrating in my life. At the moment I said, I'm getting ready to text her, God, why am I still here? I literally heard the voice of God say, Vonzail, I am showing you purpose. And the moment that he said that, Lizzie began to sing. And he says, I'm showing you your wife.
Wow.
And so in that moment, I believe that God told me that Lizzie was my wife. I'm not going to lie. I was so confused because my life was going in a whole different pattern, and marriage and a wife was the least of my plan, But what ties it all back together, I'm going to share this nugget, not to get, deep, but this is a very vital, important factor of our relationship. And there's been times I've been trying, being ashamed to say it, but I'm just no longer ashamed, and I'm unapologetic, about what God is doing in my life.
Yeah.
But being a huge Destiny's Child fan at the time, back when they were first DC3, I'm thinking nobody wasn't a Destiny's Child fan. I just really admired Michelle when she came to the group. I had just went through a very heartbreaking breakup with the fiance, who was a high school friend of mine. And so going through that breakup, and I was the guy, I wanted to graduate from college. As soon as I graduated from college, I wanted to date somebody seriously, get married. Like I had the American dream in my head, And so when my first engagement was called off, I remember asking God, I know I'm a husband. Who is my wife? And literally every time I would have a conversation with God about who my wife was, God would literally show me Michelle Williams performing on stage. I never understood things about marriage or my wife, not realizing years later, I would meet my wife as she was singing background on stage with Michelle Williams.
Wow, that's the God that we serve.
Yeah. We don't really talk too much about that because my wife was actually friends with Michelle. And so, we don't want things to get weird, but, God used her platform, just to bring purpose. And so I don't think we've ever shared that really with her, but,
we know.
Yeah, but her ministry and her gift has really, impacted lives. And so, that's kind of what kind of started this spark.
Yeah.
I think that if you guys shared that with her, that would do something to her heart, knowing that she was part of God's plan to get you guys together.
Honestly, that's why I want to give her flowers. And I said it earlier, Michelle played a huge, vital part in not just in my marriage, but I met Michelle I feel like we're gonna end up doing a part 2, but
That's a whole nother.
it
It was a full circle.
it's a full circle. Yeah, a few full circle.
We're talking about our relationship.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I was saying that because I've been trying to highlight you guys on this yellow jacket and your blonde hair, because if he had never worn the yellow jacket, and if you had never displayed the blonde hair, how was, this was going to make, a unique standout, and yellow means the gift of God. And so there was a reason, there's a reason for everything. So by you going to the concert, being sitting in the audience, being a fan, and then God allowing you to wear, the hairstyle. So therefore that was a unique connection, and that most people, they don't pay attention to detail. And that's the reason why I was highlighting the yellow jacket early in the conversation.
We found out later that's actually how and why Michelle recognized me, because I didn't realize yellow is her favorite color.
Wow.
There was a segment where she comes out in the audience and she's singing and actually touching people and hugging people, because she was singing a song called Believe in Me. And she was like really just ministering to the audience. And after the song, she came and, the mic was off, of course, and she said, "This yellow blazer," she was like, "I've seen this before." And she was like, "You work for BET." And that's kind of like how she actually recognized the yellow blazer.
That's
Wow.
good.
Wow. So, we have a lot of women out here and men, and they just feel like there's no hope. Now, when you listen to your testimony of how you guys met, how God did it, people think that, when you meet your spouse or the one that you're supposed to be with, they visualize it one way, but God is orchestrating it another way. What advice, Lizzie, can you give to the women out there who are saying, there's no men out here? I don't want to date someone that's just a friend or someone I know.
I'm gonna keep it really simple and be straight to the point. Your husband might be in the friend zone that you put him.
That's deep.
And I think a lot of times, and I can speak for myself from experience, I have a lot of male friends. I've always had a lot of male friends since I was young. And I think that was connected to the desire to have a close bond to my blood brothers, but I didn't have a close relationship with them. And so I always had a lot of male friends around me. And I mean strong male friends. I had more male friends at my wedding than I had female friends.
Wow.
And a lot of them say the same thing, that certain women that they would be friends, that they had an interest in, they didn't want to date them. And I think it's just out of fear of, well, I feel like if the relationship doesn't work out, then the friendship is gone. But if it's a true friendship, there's a level of grace that you have for each other to, make mistakes and be vulnerable with each other. And so I just want to encourage my young single women and men that your husband or your wife might be in the friend zone. Don't overlook what might be right in front of your face.
That was deep. That was really deep. That was excellent advice. Vonzail, I heard you saying that, you were struggling with your relationship and your belief with God. And also, this early disappointment of engagement that didn't happen and just past hurt. What advice can you give to a man out there who may have been broken or may be struggling in their belief with God, but yet they still have that dream of having a wife, but they're like sort of on a fence and they really don't know which way to go? What can you say to them to encourage them?
It can be very hard, difficult to speak with someone when they're in a rebellious mindset. And, and that's where I was headed. But I would encourage those who may be still, questioning God. We shouldn't question God, though. But I feel like he's our father. That's our daddy. To gain a better understanding of who God is, I feel like we have to ask questions, And so with me, when I got to the point where I literally got to the point where even though I was questioning, my relationship, my faith with God, because of my foundation, because of, my conviction, I knew that God was still the ultimate source. And so it wasn't until I even surrendered my frustration, my confusion, and I said, God, I surrender. Even what I don't understand, God, I just choose to trust. And I think a lot of men have a hard time committing to marriage or committing to one person is because they don't have a foundational, true relationship with God. And when you get to the point where you love God more than your own desires, the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all them things will be added unto you. And so men, we can't achieve, what God has promised us with if we don't seek him first. And so for me, I would just really encourage men to get back to a place of surrendering to God truly, and I'm still navigating being a husband and even my faith with God, because the faith I had as a single man is different from the faith as a husband.
You said a whole lot right there.
Surrender completely to God.
Yes.
In order to be a husband, God has to be the head of our individual life.
Wow. So let me say this, guys. One thing I do know about you guys, you share the same birthday. Now, me and my husband, his birthday is February the 10th. Mine is February the 25th. I don't like sharing the same month. So sharing the same date, what has that been like?
It's so funny because you know how you hear the different sayings of people saying, the yin to my yang and the opposites of each other. And I think we're that in and everything in between. Like God really, he is a comedian in real life. So the crazy thing is I've never been a huge celebratory person.
It's crazy because Lizzie, it's like she said, she's not really the sentimental type girl, where I'm more sentimental, but at the same token, I don't like attention or being celebrated, so I don't really expect to be celebrated. We wake up, we wish each other happy birthday, but we don't make it like... We don't make it a thing.
Yeah, we don't.
And we just enjoy each other's company.
I love your story, and that's one of the reasons why when I thought of you guys, I said, oh, they are perfect because they have the perfect story. The way God brought you together, like I said before, the way God does things is how he does it. And if we stay in alignment with God, he will bring us to where we're supposed to be. And you guys stayed in alignment. You stayed in alignment with your careers. You guys were focused and you had no idea what God was doing, but that's the God that we serve. We don't see the end of the street. He already knows what's set up when we get to the end of the street. And then he knows there's another street he's going to have us go down. And if we just stay in alignment with him and trust his will for our lives, then everything will happen the way it's supposed to happen. And this is why you guys were able to come together and find each other. And Michelle Williams was just that light, that star that he was bringing you towards, that guidance. And when I say star, I don't mean like the star of like celebrity status, but the star that he used as the light to draw you guys together. So she was that anchor, and she doesn't even know it's a Michelle Williams. Hopefully she can hear this interview of what you guys said about her, because that is awesome. She don't even realize how she has impacted you guys' lives for you to even be together, how God used her without her knowing she's being used. Come on now, God can use people. They don't even know that they being used, and years later they can hear you saved my life because when you did this or said that, you're the reason why my life turned around. So I just want to tell you guys, I'm so happy for you guys. And we all know that marriage would never be perfect, because there are days that, I tell people all the time, he gets on nerves that I didn't know existed. But, marriage is not easy. But when you're in it together and you have God as the source, then you can overcome anything as long as you keep him the head of your marriage. So guys, we thank you for taking the time out your day to talk with us at Changing the Volume. We wish you guys the best of happiness. And Vonzail, I'm praying for you with your relationship with God to be even stronger and that he can continue to use you in your gifts. But before we go, I want you guys to just tell them where they can reach you on your social media platform.
All right, I will go first on Instagram, spelled LIZZYKOMBA, and this the number 1. And then I'm Elizabeth Komba Odom on Facebook and on TikTok. So that's where you can find me.
And then on Instagram, I am Vonzail Lawrence. That's VONZAIL Lawrence, LAWRENCE. And on Facebook, it is Vonzail Odom Lawrence.
Yes. And what is your business that you have, Vonzail? You want to share that? Do you have a website where they can go to if they wanted to book you?
It is called Elbow Creative, which is turning into a nonprofit. I have a nofprofit that's forming called I Am the Voice of Suicide. I can be emailed at info@Iamthevoiceofsuicide.com.
All right. You guys have it.
Yep.
Go check them out. You guys keep doing God's work. And again, we wish you well.
Yes, we do.
So guys, thank you for tuning in with Changing the Volume with your girl Caprice.
The boy PH.
We'll be right back after this break. Keep it locked.
You're listening to Changing the Volume. We'll be right back, so don't touch that dial. Turn it up.
Hey guys, tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. to hear a new episode on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, and iHeart. And don't forget to like, download, and share. Welcome back to Changing the Volume with your girl Caprice.
And your boy PH.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. Listen, you heard Vonzail, you heard Elizabeth. God used Michelle Williams to bridge them together. They didn't know that they were going to come together. They met in 2014. You should never, ever expect for God to bring your spouse to you a certain way. He can use anybody.
And anything.
You can be in a supermarket and you can say, man, I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be somewhere else, but I ended up coming to this store. God is comical.
Yeah, that's true.
Very comical. How he does things. I was in a marriage, getting a divorce. When I met my husband on Facebook, not knowing that that would be my husband, God does things the way he wants to do it. What you have to say about that, PH?
I think that if the husband never put on that yellow jacket and she never put on that blonde hair, they probably never met. So you're right, God is comical, because most people say, why yellow jacket? Why blonde hair? But God said, okay, both of you guys gonna wear this, and then they crossed paths, and then from that point, Michelle Williams was the glue. So that says a whole lot right there.
Wow, do you see that? It was destiny. Y'all get it? It was destiny.
Wow.
That brought them together. So on that note, guys, we encourage you. If you have a little crush or you like someone that you know, you just never know. You may be looking at your spouse, because God is very comical. And sometimes what we think it is not what God says it is.
Said a whole lot right there.
Exactly. So guys, thank you again for tuning in and listening to us at Changing the Volume with your girl Caprice.
And your boy PH.
Until next time, guys, keep it locked.
Thank you for listening to Changing the Volume.